Sometimes a place calls to you. It's not always a loud call, not a shout or a demand, but a quiet, persistent whisper that tugs at your heart. It's a feeling that grows stronger with every photograph you see, every story you hear, until it becomes impossible to ignore. For me, that call came from Nepal, a land of ancient legends and towering peaks, where the mountains seem to touch the sky and the rivers carve their way through deep, green valleys. Nepal's landscapes are breathtaking, but it was something deeper that drew me in. It wasn't the famous peaks or crowded trails that drew me in, but the promise of something hidden, something real. I wasn't searching for the highest summits or the most popular trekking routes. Instead, I was looking for the quiet corners, the places where life unfolds away from the gaze of the world. I wanted to find the heart of this country, to journey to villages tucked away in the folds of the great mountains. These are places where the rhythm of life is set by the seasons, where every sunrise brings new hope and every sunset tells a story. These are places where life moves to an ancient rhythm, far from the modern world. Here, people still work the land as their ancestors did, tending terraced fields that climb the hillsides and gathering in the evenings to share stories under the open sky. I packed my bags, ready to listen to the stories the mountains had to tell. My backpack was filled with essentials, but my mind was open, eager for the unknown. I knew that the real adventure would be in the people I'd meet and the moments I'd share. The journey began not with a grand ascent, but a bumpy road out of Kathmandu. The city faded behind me, replaced by winding roads that snaked through the foothills, each turn revealing a new vista, a new possibility. The bus rattled and shook, the air growing cleaner and the world quieter with every mile. The chatter of fellow travelers mixed with the sounds of the countryside, distant bells, the call of birds, the laughter of children playing by the roadside. Roads turned to dirt tracks, then to narrow footpaths carved by generations. Each step forward felt like a step back in time, as if I was walking into a story that had been unfolding for centuries. I walked alongside locals, their faces marked by hard work and gentle smiles. They carried baskets and stories, moving with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing the land beneath your feet. This was the real start of my adventure, a slow walk into another way of life. Each footstep was a lesson in patience, in humility, in letting go of the rush and noise of the world I'd left behind. The world I knew faded away, replaced by the changing colors of the sky and the sound of distant temple bells. The air was filled with the scent of pine and wood smoke, and every evening brought a sense of peace I'd never known before. My goal was simple: to see, to listen, and to understand. I wanted to witness daily life, to notice the small details, the way people greeted each other, the laughter shared over tea, the quiet moments of reflection at dusk. I wanted to be more than a tourist. I wanted to connect, to share a meal, to learn a few words of the local language. I hoped to be welcomed, even briefly, into the fabric of village life, to experience the warmth of hospitality that Nepal is known for. The first village appeared like a mirage, nestled in a green valley surrounded by terraced fields. It was a place that seemed untouched by time, where every stone and every path had a story to tell. Smoke curled from chimneys, children's laughter echoed, and the air was filled with wood smoke and wildflowers. The simple joys of daily life unfolded before me, and I felt a sense of belonging I hadn't expected. This was the world I had come to find, a world built on community, resilience, and a deep connection to the land. Here, people worked together, celebrated together, and faced challenges as one. My journey into the heart of Nepal had truly begun, and with every step I felt the call of the mountains growing stronger, guiding me deeper into their embrace. Waking up in a Nepalese village changes you. There's a quiet magic in the air, a sense that you're part of something ancient and enduring. The rhythm of life here is set by the mountains and the sun, not by clocks or alarms. Long before sunrise, the world stirs. Roosters crow, feet shuffle, and the village quietly comes alive. You can hear the soft murmur of voices as families begin their day, the gentle clatter of pots, and the distant bleating of goats. It's a symphony of beginnings, played out in the cool blue darkness. I'd step outside into the cold, under a sky brilliant with stars, the Himalayas looming like silent giants. The air is crisp and pure, carrying the scent of pine and wood smoke. In that moment, you feel both small and infinite, humbled by the scale of the mountains and the vastness of the night. As dawn broke, the village slowly revealed itself, houses and terraced fields emerging from the shadows. The outlines of stone walls and thatched roofs become clear, and the world seems to hold its breath, waiting for the sun. The first rays of sunlight touched the peaks, turning them gold, then spilled into the valley, warming the earth. The snow-capped summits glow with a fiery brilliance, and the fields below shimmer with dew. It's a transformation that feels almost sacred. Villagers paused, faces turned to the sun, soaking in its energy. For a few moments, everyone is united in silent gratitude, feeling the warmth seep into their bones after the long, cold night. This daily ritual became my anchor, a lesson in patience and hope. It taught me to slow down, to appreciate the beauty in small things, and to trust that every darkness is followed by light. No matter how dark the night, the light always returns. The sunrise is a promise, a gentle reminder that every day is a new beginning, filled with possibility. That sunrise is a memory I carry with me, a reminder of peace and renewal. Whenever I close my eyes, I can still feel the warmth of the sun on my face and the quiet strength of the mountains all around me. As the sun climbed, the village buzzed with purposeful activity. Men headed to the fields, tending crops by hand on steep terraces. Women were the heart of the home, collecting firewood, fetching water, grinding grain, cooking, and caring for family. Their strength and grace were inspiring. I tried to help, carrying water, weeding fields, and quickly gained respect for their daily labor. Sharing in their work, even briefly, forged a connection beyond words. As afternoon wore on, people gathered to chat, children played simple games, and laughter filled the air. Community was everywhere, neighbors helping neighbors, sharing what they had. This was not isolation, but deep connection, a powerful reminder of what many of us have lost. Food in the mountains is simple, honest, and made with care. Dal bhat, lentil soup, rice, and seasonal vegetable curry was the daily staple, each family adding their own touch. Kitchens were small, smoky rooms where families gathered around the fire, sharing stories as meals cooked. I was welcomed in, watching mothers transform simple ingredients into nourishing food. Mornings brought Tibetan bread and sweet tea, sometimes dindo, a thick millet porridge perfect for a hard day's work. What made the food special wasn't just the taste, but the experience. Knowing the potatoes were dug that morning, the spices ground by hand. Sharing a meal broke down barriers, becoming a universal language of kindness and connection. One crisp morning, I was drawn by the sound of laughter and chatter echoing through the hills. Following the children's voices, I arrived at the village school, a humble stone building perched on the mountainside, standing resilient against the elements. Despite its simplicity and the scarcity of resources, this school is a beacon of hope for the community. The children, dressed in faded and often mismatched uniforms, gathered eagerly for their lessons. Their faces glowed with curiosity and excitement, each child ready to absorb whatever knowledge the day would bring. Even with so little, their enthusiasm for learning was infectious. The teacher, a pillar of the village, taught a range of subjects, from Nepali language to basic science, using only a chalkboard and a few tattered textbooks. Her dedication was evident in every word and gesture, as she patiently explained new concepts and encouraged her students to ask questions. Here, education is more than just a daily routine. It is a precious opportunity, cherished by every student. For these children, learning represents a path to a brighter future, a way to rise above the limitations of their remote surroundings. When I spoke to the class about my own home and experiences, their eyes lit up with wonder. Their questions were thoughtful and bold. Some dreamed of becoming doctors, others aspired to be teachers or engineers, hoping to give back to their village one day. Witnessing their ambition and determination, despite the many challenges they face, was truly inspiring. Their resilience and hopefulness left a lasting impression on me. As I left the school that afternoon, I felt a mix of hope and sadness. Hope for the bright futures these children envision, and sadness knowing the obstacles that still stand in their way. Their spirit, however, gave me faith in what's possible. Supporting education in these remote mountain areas is not just important, it is essential. It gives these children the tools and opportunities they need to build better lives for themselves, their families, and their entire community. Once a week, the village rhythm changed. Market day arrived. People from surrounding villages walked for hours, carrying goods to a central open space. The market was a burst of color and energy. Fresh vegetables, spices, homemade cheese, and woolen hats laid out on cloths. It was more than commerce. It was the social hub, where news was exchanged and friendships renewed. Transactions were done with a handshake and a smile, goods traded for what was needed. The market kept the local economy running and connected isolated communities. More than anything, it was about people, friends catching up, families sharing tea, the community coming together. Standing in that bustling crowd, I felt deeply connected to their way of life. Faith is woven into daily life in the mountains. Prayer flags flutter from rooftops and passes, their colors fading as prayers are carried by the wind. Villages blend Hinduism and Buddhism, shrines and stupas stand side by side. Mornings begin with offerings and quiet devotion at small shrines. I was lucky to witness a local festival. Drums, chanting, dancing, and feasting brought the community together. These traditions provide strength and comfort, helping people face challenges with hope. Watching these rituals, I felt deep respect for the power of tradition, a spiritual thread connecting people to each other and the land. It's easy to romanticize mountain life, but behind the beauty are real challenges. Poverty is constant. A failed crop or sick animal can be disastrous. Healthcare is distant. Reaching help means hours, sometimes days on foot. Simple illnesses can become life-threatening. Climate change brings unpredictable weather, landslides, and harsher winters, threatening their way of life. Despite hardships, people rarely complain. They find joy in family, community, and the beauty around them. Their resilience is humbling, but it shouldn't mean we ignore their struggles. They need better schools, healthcare, and opportunities. Their way of life is precious but fragile, and deserves our support. My time in Nepal's hidden villages ended, but the journey changed me. I left behind friends and memories, laughter, stories, and shared moments. The mountains taught me about resilience, community, and the true meaning of connection. Happiness isn't found in things, but in relationships and nature. The people here have little by modern standards, but are rich in peace and community. As I returned to the modern world, I carried the peace of the mountains with me. These are the stories that matter. Real people, real challenges, incredible grace. By sharing these stories, we build bridges of understanding. Thank you for traveling with me. The journey isn't over. I hope you'll join me for the next chapter.